It's a little chilly out, but we're gonna get some training done. So I contemplated a couple different things to do in training today, and decided to adjust my lighter days to be not just strict pressing, but to be push pressing. So in that theory, do some snatch push press at 80, do a power snatch plus snatch push press at 80, and then do some power clean and push press at 100. Do front squat doubles to 150 potentially, and then do some snatch pulls. So we'll see how all that feels. So I'm quite tired. I just drank coffee instead of pre-workout, so probably a little bit less caffeine than normal. But it's also not that big of a deal if I don't train that hard today. So these straps, probably for both snatch and clean and jerk, just to make my life a little bit more simple. Quite hungry, even though I did eat when I got home. So we're going to do 1 plus 3 at 40, 60, and then 1 plus 5 at 80. It being 80 kilograms should be a really easy weight for the push press aspect of it. And then we'll see how that feels and how I react to it to decide what I want to do with the power clean and push press. And then the front squats, probably up to like 150, and then some snatch pulls that are probably like 140. That's, play it by feel, but I don't really feel motivated to train, which is interesting. But I don't feel like I don't want to train. It's kind of an oxymoronic feeling. So I'm not like super enthusiastic about doing anything, but at the same time, like I still want to get work in. So I want to feel that production. But we took a little bit of kind of a nap, bit of a power nap, I suppose, because it wasn't really that long, and just relax for a bit because it's Friday, and so I have more time to relax and to waste before I come out here and train. So I haven't used warmed it up at all, so it's going to take me a second. But yeah, kind of, because I'm readjusting things or like kind of resetting, so I want to see how I respond to having a little bit more weight on these days and different exercises, because the power snatch won't be difficult, but the weights will be a little bit more than the strict presses, and we'll see how I respond to doing snatch push presses instead of just snatch presses. My calf is extremely sore. Well, not extremely, it's a bit dramatic, but from the back squats I did the other day, my left calf is really sore, which is just bizarre. So I don't really know how I managed to do that. Both my calves are sore, but my left calf being sore from squats more so than my right is just a weird feeling to have in general. But shouldn't really impact me for squats or any of the movements I'm doing today. But it did make me want to take 2 days where I was a little bit lighter in training because of how sore they were, which is quite a bizarre feeling. But let's go up to 40. Feels a lot better today, so it should be done being sore tomorrow for the most part. It was super tight after I did the squats, so. Definitely a bit sleepy now. Where's my straps? Wow. Alright, so we'll see if I actually want to go all the way up to 80. See how that's feeling as I move up, but we'll for sure do at least 60 and then kind of play it by feel. But of course, we're going to do 40 first. Man, I wasn't hungry until I came out here, which is kind of obnoxious because I did eat relatively recently, but alas, be like that. Actually, didn't feel too bad at all. I'll just keep vibing with them. 60 will kind of tell me if I want to stay there, because I got up to like 55 for the strict presses, so 60 would make sense if I'm just going to push a little bit above these, since on days like this I still want it to be light, so I don't want to go hog wild necessarily, but 60 will be a good benchmark. Honestly, the 40 felt really easy, so I don't imagine it's going to get that much more difficult. Unless my strap gets stuck in a 60 kilo plate. Jeez. Okay. So 60. I think I kind of talked myself into doing this particular weight. I'm going to do 3 sets here with at least 5 reps. Those are push presses and they're pretty easy. I might just do a set of 10 and just do more reps. So I think we'll actually stay here. Getting a feel for how these days will be, especially if I'm actually like really tired from the previous day, which will be a harder session. I don't want to go too crazy on a day like this. It's not, shouldn't be. Unless my strap's gonna be goofy. Actually, 5 is actually a good amount. So 80 is a bit too aggressive, which is okay. That's one thing I kind of wanted to figure out on this day, is how aggressive I was going to push. So we'll do 3 sets there at 60, and then swap out the battery, but probably drop the push press a little bit too. This can honestly just be at 80, so that won't be a big thing. But set of 5 will be all right. Power snatch is no big deal, but good to do an actual snatch. It's actually not the craziest comfortable thing to do, which is interesting. A little crackly at the shoulder, but nothing too bad. What's up, Joseph? Appreciate it. Octopus. So not too bad. Still pretty light, which is good. Shoulder's a little crackly, so I actually think this is like the correct decision to keep it low. So do the third set. Not too bad. It's kind of like as difficult as I want it. Which is perfect. It's not light where I feel like it's not productive, but it's not so heavy where I'm going to be, not recovered for it. So we're going to actually do our push presses at 80. So I'm going to do a set here at 60 and then just move up to 80. But the pace is good too. Get my heart rate up a little bit. So not too bad to kill two birds with one stone in a sense. All right. Not bad at all. So let's do 80. We'll do the same thing we did for the snatch grip push presses and just do a set of 5, do 3 sets of 5, and move forward. Hopefully not much rest in between. Shouldn't be too bad. We'll see how they feel though. Just 3. 5 would have been a little bit too much. Wasn't really that hard, but I'm trying to keep the intensity at a point where I'm not, I won't say not trying, but I'm not like destroying myself for tomorrow. a day like today is focused on getting some volume in, but getting volume in that's not mentally stressful and is still productive. So mostly calibrating, going from just regular pressing, strict pressing, kind of have to calibrate what is going to be, routine weights like the presses I was able to. So second set here, let's do 3 again. Almost feels like it's more of a mobility stretch at this point. So it's like stretching my wrist and stuff, which is good. I'm not really sure what you mean by that, James. %90 of your training max, and what lift? I mean, the straps, these are straps. These are wraps. But 2 reasons. One, well, I guess multiple. Oh, my best push press. This is not. My best push press ever is 137, and this is 80 kilograms, so a pretty light percentage in that. But there's a couple reasons to use wrist straps for the snatches, just so I don't have to worry about my hands and messing with that or whatever. But for the cleans, to stretch my front rack, which is something that can be useful, particularly with power cleans and light weights. So it's not something that's going to, I'm not going to break my arm because I'm doing a full clean with a max weight. It's pretty manageable. That's really the main reason. Potentially save my hands a little bit, but also, I guess, mentally to make myself limit, because I'm not that I necessarily have the desire to, but if I use straps for power cleans, I'm not going to go to max weights because it makes my turnover slower. So it creates a increased focus of kind of pushing your elbows under, because for me, I move slower when I have straps on. So kind of a stretch and kind of to work on that technical thing, even with a light weight. For the push press, it doesn't make any difference once you're holding it. But, the grip for that doesn't matter. It's just, it's there. So it's not going to change anything with that. But on, a lighter day, just to save my hands a little bit and mobility, like I said. But go coffee. But as far as the percentage, the goal on this day is not necessarily to get to a certain percentage. It's to elicit a certain feeling. So I'm going to get to a weight that's a little bit, no, I'm an early childhood teacher, but whatchamacallit, the goal is to get to a weight that's a little bit strenuous but not too difficult, because the way that I'm structuring training right now is a day like this is to get some pressing volume in, but not to, max out to do any crazy things. Maybe more so with the front squat to work up a little bit on that, but more so to just get some volume in and to have a mentally easy session. So I don't want to go so far where I'm like, all right, I have to like focus in. I just want to be able to go through the reps and get some volume in. And what's up, Tony? Happy Friday. And just kind of do work. And that's work that's not going to be unproductive. So I'm not going to come out here and just press the bar, but I want to do enough weight where I have to try a little bit, but not try too much, because on the other days when I'm doing snatch, clean jerk, back squats, like those, the back squats are kind of the main focus right now, trying to progress those up. But I'm also trying to make it so on the other days I can recover for those sessions, but also still get some productive work in, because I'm going to train every day. So it's kind of a balancing act of that. Um, I don't really motor. I don't know why you have one tricep smaller than your one side. I'm not a bodybuilder. Probably train the other side. Yeah, I don't like think necessarily in percentages. I just don't find percentages particularly useful. It's more something I look at after the result of training. So, for instance, with the back squat progression, just kind of like main focus right now, I started 3x10s, 3 sets of 10 at 120 kilograms, and that was just an arbitrary number. Just picked it. It was light. I knew I'd be able to do it. So then I went 120, 140, 160, and then I jumped for one set of 10 up to 185. And instead of doing 180, I did 185 because that was a PR. So it's the only reason I made that jump. And then I reset down for 4 sets of 8 and did 130, 155, 175, and took just different jumps just to not do 150 again. And then ended with that 200 for 7. So I was trying to do it for 8 and did it for 7. So it didn't make too much of a difference there. But then now it's 5x6 or 4x6. I'm kind of have to fill it out tomorrow when I do that. But I was kind of taking it lighter for 2 days. I didn't squat yesterday or the day before because my calves were super tight from the 200 kilogram squat by 7, which is really bizarre. My legs and back were fine, but my calves were super tight, particularly my left one. So it was really bizarre. But yeah, I've never done Wendler, so I don't know much. I don't know. I think the only powerlifting program I remember doing was Brandon Campbell's program back in the day when that was the first thing I did. Other than that, I just hammered volume and just try to get stronger. Because your max is like it's important to look at, but it's not a consistent thing. There's a number that you've hit as your lifetime max, but there's also a number that is your consistent max. So to use a simple example, if let's say my lifetime max was a 210 kilogram back squat, and I've done it one time, I guess I could use my actual PR, which is like 232 or whatever, but just say 210 for argument's sake, is 210. On any particular day, I might be able to hit 195 or 200 as like my actual max. So like that's for me, it's like that's how strong I would consider my legs to actually be for a 195 or 200, not what I've done for a lifetime max. Obviously, you want that lifetime max to go up, but if you are thinking about like how strong your legs are or how good your lifts are at a particular moment, you want to know what you can do in that particular moment. So for me, I'm not going to think, if I'm thinking about, say, a deadlift, I'm not going to think my lifetime max every time I do it. I'm going to think about what I've done recently. And that's kind of general approach to training that's good to do, but it's kind of the approach I have now. So it's not so much I need to get to an arbitrary percentage, like 90% of, what, my most recent max, lifetime max, like it's an arbitrary number, even though it's a objective percentage because your max is not a consistent thing because the human body is not a consistent thing. So as long as you kind of know how strong you are at the current moment or how strong you think you can be, then you can make predictions and kind of just progress everything up in theory. But life's change. Um, I don't care about bench press. Like people always ask and tell me about bench press. I do not bench press, and I do not care to. 225 close grip bench. I've done that before. Back in the day. Alright. Took a while for this set, so it should feel pretty easy, to be honest. Nice little stretch above my head as well to get it back behind me. So kind of worked well on two fronts in that regard. But, a lot of people on here. Let me throw my glasses on. I'm an old man. I'm 100 years old. Apparently I need reading glasses. But yeah, nobody cares about bench press, at least in weightlifting worlds. Alright, so front squats now. I do 70 for 2, 120 for 2, then 150 for 2. Should be pretty routine. It shouldn't be difficult, but it will just be difficult because it's reps. So it's not the weight that will be necessarily difficult. So we're gonna keep the lighter knee sleeves or wraps on, and no belt. Eventually, on this day, it's kind of the other adjustment I make. Instead of doing singles on the front squat, do doubles, and just keep trying to do 150 for doubles, and then see if I can eventually do more. But today is kind of like I said, trying to calibrate things to get it to where I know what I want to do on these kind of days. Right knee's a little sore, which is interesting, but it should feel all right when I'm squatting. I don't imagine having any issues with it. I suppose that was another thing that got me to chill out a little bit for 2 days. To allow my patella some time to, which is weird because I have had a lot of quad tendon soreness from squats and lifting and whatnot. But recently it's been actually the patella, the little patella tendon, I guess. Which is rather, it's interesting for me because I haven't had that in a very long time. A lot of quad tendon, but not a lot of patella tendon. When you do cleans with straps, it's surprising how much mobility you get in your front rack. Not necessarily something I recommend for beginners. I would just use straps and stretch with the bar, but as you get more advanced and comfortable with the movement, certainly it's nice, especially like I'm like 235, so I have enough upper body mass where I actually get a stretch from that. If you're really light and skinny, or just small, or have good leverages, then you might just always have good front rack mobility, but not super short or super tall, but my front rack mobility has never been as, I can't hold a hook grip and do a clean grip. It's really a really deep stretch to do that. But that's always been the case with my front squats. I don't watch Sam Solik, so I don't know. I don't care about the other dude's hair. That's a little weird. Sam Solik seems like a nice guy, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't care about what his hair looks like. it's a little weird there, buddy. But no straps for the front squats. I don't want my arms to actually hurt, or my wrists, I should say. So dump here. Go up to 120. It's nice. Feel my calf a little bit, which is still so weird, but it's nothing that's getting worse, so I'm not worried about it. I guess when you do a heavy rep back squat, your body uses every muscle. Although when I did the 185 for 10, my whole body was sore, my back and everything. For the 200 though, legs weren't sore, back, not really that sore. Calves though, oh my goodness, like a pregnant lady. All right, so 120 for 2. actually interesting. I actually feel my quads a little bit. Kind of, I'd say weird, but like it was in a good way, like the muscle towards my quad tendon. So maybe it's just that, but that was interesting. It's also nice to not use wrist straps for these front squats as well. My front rack's pretty non-consistent, especially with reps, so hopefully the 150 goes alright. But after the 150 here for 2, then we'll drop down to 120 and just do some pulls. Not really sure. I put 5x3, but I think that's just going to be too much, so we'll just see how they're feeling. Oh. Slipped a little bit on that first one. Oh, I felt my back a little bit. It's a little kind of like musculature. Oh, that's not good. But we move on. Ooh. Back's a little tight from that, so. Could honestly be from doing the cleans with the straps, stretching out my muscles a little bit more, and it kind of just rebounded a little bit. So we're gonna play it much more conservative with pulls. I think it's something I need to adjust a little bit. I can't just linearly progress the volume I do with them to be a little less volume with the pulls in general, since I am doing them more frequently, and obviously neurologically will have more of an impact, but especially feeling my back a little bit. So maybe my last pull, we'll see how it feels, but pull should be okay. So I'm gonna do just a single here and a single at 150, and then probably just move on with the night. But certainly doubling the second rep didn't feel very good. A little bit of muscle strain. I didn't feel anything aggravate doing that, so we'll do 150. We'll call it a night. But it's like right there, my lats. But we can build up the snatch pulls just like we can with everything else. So hit the 150 and be on our way. Yep, didn't want to hold that any longer than I needed to. Oh, well, I have a feeling my back's gonna be sore tomorrow. That spot that I guess it's a strain. Oh, that's annoying, but yeah, just like right at the bottom of my ribs. So very annoying, but we'll be all right. I've done worse things. Very weird, but that did not feel very good. Only one way to know is to wait till tomorrow to see how sore it actually is. That's kind of annoying. Oh well. It is what it is. So just leave my stuff out here to come in to grab it tomorrow anyway. But that's gonna be it for this one. So I'm gonna go in and eat some food and hope that my little muscle strain here isn't anything that's gonna slow me down. So we'll see. But that's it for this one. Take care, guys. Happy Friday.